Most founders think that they have a content problem, and the truth is they do, but it's not exactly what you think it might be. You don't need to hire out a team. You don't need to find your voice. The issue is that you are not capturing your life as if you are a thought leader. I will never forget the day that one of my mentors told me to capture your life as if they will create a documentary about you one day. And that has changed the way I organize everything. And because of that, I can capture what I need and activate on what I need just like that. Now I'm ready to scale. So in this quick video, I'm going to give you a brief introduction. I have a resource for you to use it on your own. And I'm really excited because this has saved me hours and hours of time every single week. And it all started when I read this book called Building a Second Brain by Tiago Forte. I'm going to save you the trouble of reading an entire book or watching super long videos and sum this up for you, especially because the system that Tiago Forte created is based off of his experimentation with tons of formats and ways to organize. And he basically distilled it down to this being the best one, called the para method, which is absolutely a part of our organization structure that we will be discussing. So I want to introduce you to our lore method that we use at our agency. I've been using it for my brand for a few years now, a couple years, and it's basically a quick 4 steps. So, of course, there's log. You need to create the habit of capturing everything in your entire life. Don't ever let a transcript go. Don't ever let a video, a thought that you have in a car go without capturing your thoughts. There's just a few small tools that can help. Like I'm using Loom right now to present this. Voice memos, easy. Whisper flow is great. You can just hold a key down. I actually set a command on my computer so that I can just double tap command and it will voice type on my behalf. Firefly's AI captures transcripts from your meeting, and I like it a lot better than some other tools because it will actually depict what speaker said what, compared to other tools might just jumble them all together. And finally, iPhone camera. You know how that goes. And then, of course, there's phone camera. You can never go wrong with your phone camera. And then, of course, you have the phone camera. You can never go wrong with photos, screenshots, videos, getting them on your phone. But the issue is they get lost because you never organize them. Might I say, organize them immediately. Put them in the folders, sort them, put them in the album, whatever the case is. You do not want organization to be the thing that's holding the things that is over your head because that is a stressful item. So PARA. This is the system outlined in Tiago Forte's book. It is awesome, let me tell you. And it's really cool because you can kind of use it in a way that makes the most sense for you. Of course, I've narrowed it down into a way that really helps thought leaders, whatever. But projects, active works with finish line. Areas, ongoing, maintained, not completed. I'm talking website. I'm talking newsletter. Resources, everything you draw from when creating. So we'll put like branding folders in there. I put my prompts, data, etc. And then archives, done, keep it, never delete. Now, the point and the reason I love archives is because I used to have a lot of projects or whatever the case was, all these files that I knew I was never going to access, and I kind of I debated deleting them, right? But you're like, I kind of want to hold on to that just in case that one day comes. Well, that is what the archive folder is for. How you organize your archive folder is really up to you. I organize it by date. Once I'm done, I like to put it in there by date. So that is a brief intro. Now, I'm going to show you right here is actually a template of if you are interested in this template, it is super easy. We've got projects, resources, areas. I've outlined just some basic areas, some basic project names, structure, as well as resources, branding, content, right? Now, content is where a lot of my file space lives, and I was going to show you really quick. That's in my resources. So I actually organize all of my clients in the same exact way. And the thing is, I treat myself as my own client. So this is agency work, this is personal work, right? But you know how you do things better when you're doing them for someone else? This is the same thing. And I'd rather stay organized for myself as well as stay organized for everyone else around me. So Sid, resources, content, then you can kind of sort it by category, which is kind of what I do here. Mine's still not sorted exactly how I want to do it, but I have done it where I sort it by year, month, location instead. And I've actually found that in my recall, when I'm trying to use it and extract it, I can't find it nearly as quick as when I have it sorted kind of into categories. And I'll show you a little bit more about that on my iPhone as well. That brings us to retrieve. This is the whole game. This is the whole point. You want to make life easier for you down the road. And that is why we invest the time in now. We invest our efforts in the future as things happen, because it takes 10% more energy to do it now. But as soon as that pile stacks up down the line, it takes a whole bunch of effort. And like, we got to do our taxes. We have way too many things to be doing to be worrying about that. So it's small habits and actions that really help you retrieve. Literally, I'm not even kidding you, in 2 minutes. And one of the reasons is because I use codes on every entity, every folder, every file that I download. So, for example, SSS Lighthouse is agency work. Newsletter is like an item. Beacon is our application, which I'll tell you more about, right? So, I was going to show you in here, in our start guide that you'll download, I have named a few of my naming conventions here. So, all of my clients have a 3-letter code, for example, but then I have shorthand codes that I use for myself, like a YouTube video, a newsletter. I use the letter R for real. Now, then I always start with the 3-letter code of the client or the bigger project that we have, then kind of the area or the item that it is. It's a newsletter, and then kind of a description in that last. So the main thing I have is three sections is kind of. So I did just also want to show you really quick how easy it is to find a certain thing. So I know that I am looking for a prompt that has to do with SS Lighthouse Creative Agency. So I've collected certain prompts that exist here. Or every time I write a piece, I might refer to my avatar document and, oh, I spelled it wrong. So you see how easy it just like, you're on top of the ball by search, by location down here. It's the best. Now, like I said, that list is included in that zip file. So then finally, it allows you to post, pitch, talk, propose with confidence, because it didn't take all this energy to get it out there and ship it into the world. So that is a really, really, really brief introduction to this system, but I would definitely say take a look at Para method if you want to dive in deeper. It is quite interesting. I'll leave a link in the description. I have another resource for you as well that helps you in your execution. Instead of just saving your brain dumps into your notes app or into a video, if they're brain dumps that have to do with content, that have to do with LinkedIn specifically, or a caption would work as well, I have a resource for you called Beacon Flow. It is meant to capture that magic as you have those ideas in very inconvenient places, like a shower, like in the middle of a lake, in a canoe. This is where you literally can hit the microphone button, you can voice dump it, and then you can go through the process, and within 5 minutes, you'll have a post ready for LinkedIn to go. And I've seen it all too often. I've brain dumped and tried to come back to those ideas later, and I just didn't have the same energy anymore. They just weren't a great idea. So if you want free access to this resource, I am handing that out if you comment Beacon under this YouTube video, and I'll send that to you as well. So now that was kind of a bit of the computer space, and I would like to mention Beacon Flow is only an iPhone app at the moment. Now let's talk about your phone, your camera roll. Oh my gosh, I have more camera roll footage than I have anything else. And what do you do with all of that? It's gold. But to organize that, especially now that you have 2,000, you have 10,000 things to organize, that's going to be difficult. But luckily, I have found an app called Slidebox. I'm going to show you briefly what this looks like. So, let's see here. This is Slidebox. Now, I paid for a subscription to use Slidebox because it was worth it. Otherwise, you got ads, it was interrupting you, but trust me, I think it was maybe a one-time purchase actually. Now, I have a lot. I started with 21,000. I'm still working on cooking this down. Once you start using this, implement it as a weekly habit for sure. But what you can do is basically just go to all unsorted. Now, in your albums on your phone, you can create a subfolder and put albums within that. So, for my organizational purposes, I have created that. Now, listen, I have a lot. I have way too many folders, actually. You don't need this many. Maybe you want 8. You can steal inspiration from this list, but you have to do whatever works for you. There's no guarantee. But once again, in this file, I've given you some ideas in which you can organize them. Let's see. Here they are. Categories. Categories beats date. Trust me. You can always search a file by the date, by the way, but you can't necessarily search it by a category. So that is why I choose this. So here's some examples to get you started. But, kind of the purpose that you're organizing these is one day you're going to want to use it to tell a story, to deliver a narrative, to create a presentation. And you're going to need that one photo. And sometimes, in Photos app, that search function doesn't quite do enough. Great. So as I've mentioned, we have this folder structure built out for you on your behalf. There's just a couple examples. I've named them Project 1, Project 2, etc. But like I said, your project has an end date, right? So once you finish that, imagine that project's all wrapped up. I would typically go in here and say compress. And then I would drag that into my archive, which might be organized into date or category or area. That's kind of on you. I already dragged that in for example purposes. But this is what you're going to use to guide you through using this for the first time. Sweet little resource. Super happy to hand it over because it saved me, like I said, hours and hours and hours upon of time. So this is the lore method. Why is it lore? Because your story, your life truly is special. Why aren't we going to treat it like one big project? And if you can implement that habit now and into the future, you are going to make your life easier down the line. You're going to make it easier for when you're ready to scale, for when you're ready to hire out a team, when you're ready to have someone do your demo reel. Boom, you know exactly what to show them, what to use. So treat your life like they'll make a movie about you, because maybe they will. And we like main character energy around here, and that energy carries over in the impact that you can have. So comment Laura to get the zip file, or comment Beacon to get access to our Beacon Flow app for free. iPhone only. Thanks for being here. Keep it real.